A house is probably the most expensive thing you'll ever buy. When you are dropping multiple years' worth of income on a purchase, you want to be absolutely sure you are getting something of quality. That's where home inspections come in. According to one survey, 86% of home inspections revealed at least one problem that needed to be addressed. So they're not just a formality. Home inspections can save you massive post-purchase headaches. We put together this list of 10 home inspection tips for prospective home buyers. Buy your next home with confidence. Home inspections are pretty comprehensive, but they don't include everything. A typical inspection only takes about 2 to 4 hours. You can't expect the inspector to look at every square inch of the house in that time. So what do they focus on? They'll look for cracks in the foundation. They'll make sure the foundation is level. They'll look at doors and windows. They'll check the roof. They'll check the plumbing. They'll check the electrical system. The list goes on. For a complete list of what's part of a home inspection, check the link in the description below. Check it. There are a few things you should be aware of that most inspectors won't check. For example, the inspector won't be tearing open walls or floors to see what's underneath. Anything they can't see won't be covered in the inspection. That includes things like insulation inside walls and ceilings, or warped floors hidden under thick carpeting. They likely won't go rooting around for hazardous materials, like asbestos or lead paint. If you're buying a home that's older than about 30 years, you'll want assurance that it's lead and asbestos free one way or another. Not every province has regulations for home inspectors. One thing to look for is whether they're registered with the Canadian Association of Home and Property Inspectors. You can also ask for referrals from friends or family members or your realtor. Try to find a few possible inspectors and speak with each of them before you commit. Ask about their experience and training and see if they can send a sample report your way so you can have a look at what you're paying for. Make sure you have a written contract with your chosen inspector that outlines exactly what they're inspecting. Get a rough sense of what your inspection will cost. Large homes take longer to inspect, and the cost will be higher. Generally, budget something in the neighborhood of at least $300 to $500 for the inspection. When you're speaking to inspectors, don't choose the one with the cheapest quote unless they're the most qualified. In the context of buying a house, a few $100 isn't much, and a quality inspector can save you a ton of money in the long run. When your inspector is doing their work, you should be there with them. Obviously, you don't want to hover around them and disrupt their work, but you should be present to ask clarifying questions. Given that most inspections only take a few hours, it's well worth your time to be there. No skimping on anything. A home inspector looks at many aspects of the home, but there's one thing they won't do: tell you what the house is worth. That's an appraisal, and it's a whole separate thing. Of course, you might need an appraisal too as part of the purchase process. Appraisals deal strictly with how much money a house is worth. Inspections deal strictly with the condition of the house. This should go without saying. Read the report carefully. Even if the inspector found a few defects, they might be trivial things that you could easily address on your own. Don't just glance at a list of issues and pass on the house. Depending on what the issues are, you can renegotiate your offer on the house to cover the costs of the repairs. You could even make completed repairs a condition of your buying the house. It's common to make an offer on a house contingent upon the house passing an inspection. Speaking of issues you find on the report, pretty much every home inspection report you look at is going to note at least a few issues with the house. As you're reading the report, focus on issues that are big red flags. You know, the stuff that's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars to repair. Issues with the roof, the HVAC systems, foundation, or widespread mold or insect damage are all things that you don't want to deal with. On the other hand, easily fixed cosmetic issues like rusty hinges or faded paint are not crucial. If a house looks pretty much perfect for you, it's not worth blowing up the deal because of a few squeaky doors. It could be worth blowing up the deal to avoid dropping 20 grand on a new roof though. Take it from me. Home inspections are subjective. One inspector's report could end up being quite different from another inspector's, unless you're absolutely 100% confident in your chosen inspector's skills and experience. There's no harm in getting a second opinion. Again, the cost of an inspection pales in comparison to the cost of the house. When you can cross-reference two inspection reports, you'll get a much clearer idea of what work the home needs before you can move in. When you go to buy a house, your mortgage lender will almost definitely require you to get the home inspected. They'll also require you to get a home insurance policy on the house before they can release any funds. During the home inspection, your inspector might uncover any number of issues that could make it harder to find a home insurance policy, or at least more expensive. If the home has outdated electrical systems like aluminum or knob and tube wiring, or outdated plumbing materials like Poly B or Kitec, many home insurance providers will charge higher rates or limit coverage until those systems are updated. They could even decline to insure the home entirely. With a home inspection report in hand, you'll be better equipped to find a home insurance provider that's flexible and willing to account for your needs. You can get an online home insurance quote from Square One in less than 5 minutes by visiting squareone.ca or clicking the link on the screen. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this helpful. You are getting something of quality. My mic is falling. Wow, it's over. 100% confident in your hosen. Tell you what the health is worth.